we do the same thing nowadays too in the city, right? Farmers market or whatnot. Some people have, you know, nowadays they call it micro plants or something, micro farming or whatever, right? But they make stuff. They go to farmers market and they try to resell it for money, right? So I mean, we're not too far off still. It's not like everything is produced out of in a factory somewhere, but it feels like that because we always have to go to the grocery store and grab our things, right? But you know what I mean? Like we're still, I mean, in this country, in the United States, we're still capable of doing that because we have backyards or whatnot with dirt. You know what I mean? You can go to a farmer's market and sell your produce. I didn't even have my tea yet. Maybe it's good to have a tea. Oh yeah, it's definitely not too hot, piping hot anymore. But it's natural herbs, right? So that's why I'm taking this tea, the moringa, more moringa tea. It comes from a moringa tree. The leaves, anyways. Apparently, it seems in front of the picture, it looks like one of those trees that just grows, and let's say you're a hunter and gatherer, right? And you're out there in the wild, and you have to bring back herbs and edible things back to your the village, right? And like uh, you don't want to bring back something that's gonna be poison, right? Um, so how do you know? How you distinguish bitter from good from bitter bad? You know what I mean? Because my mom, right? She talks about we kind of had a discussion on like I mean, in her lifetime, right? In She lived in a village before she came to the United States, right? And in that village, the way they worked every day was like literally it's I mean it's still in because my mom was still living, right? So within our lifetime, right? Because I get to hear her stories, right? She was able to tell me that the way they work is they will go to gather things, right? Turn it into food, take it to the market, sell it, make money from it. I mean, we do the same thing nowadays too in the city, right? Farmers market or whatnot. Some people have, you know, nowadays they call it micro plants or something, micro farming or whatever, right? But they make stuff. They go to farmers market and they try to resell it for money, right? So I mean, we're not too far off still. It's not like everything is produced out of in a factory somewhere, but it feels like that because we always have to go to the grocery store and grab our things, right? But you know what I mean? Like we're still, I mean, in this country, in the United States, we're still capable of doing that because we have backyards or whatnot with dirt. You know what I mean? You can go to a farmer's market and sell your produce. I'm not sure if the city inspector is going to come out and be like, "Oh, you can't do that." There's no nutritional data or anything like that that needs to be approved. But yeah, I mean, people can do that nowadays too if they wanted to, right? But I mean, everyone got jobs, so maybe they don't have the necessity to do it. But people who really, is crafty enough, they can work for themselves and they can actually start, you know, That's why we have farmers and stuff, right? In some places, even in the city, people ride horses, right, out here. So it's up to your imagination at that point. You know what I mean? I remember I had a friend. You know what I mean? She tried to raise chickens on her balcony. I mean, he had to be creative, right? Because it was against city code to do that. But I'm not gonna speak on that anymore. But anyway, you know what I mean. It was it. She didn't bear any eggs from it. She wanted to, right? But the chicks, it grew. It grew, and then I think she was able to like take it to the butcher and got it, defeathered and and you know she ate it. All right, we just leave that right there. But anyway, what else? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, so my parents, right? They lived in a village, and that's what they had to do, right? They had to go out. They had to go gather their thing, you know, from from the farm or in into the wild, right? And like literally, I mean, people would come back with mushrooms, and if they don't cook the mushrooms right, and obviously, there's delicacies and stuff, and there's risk taking, right? But people they take risk. You know what I mean? They take risks. You know what I mean? Like especially if they find something that's a delicacy, right? They try to turn it into some sort of like entree, right? Because it's that type of delicacy. You know what I mean? It's speaked upon or speaked about as it, right? And then they would make the ultimate decision to partake, right? You know, and she said like a lot of people lose their lives that way, right? Because they knew it was wrong, right? It's like eating the forbidden fruit, right? We go back to the Bible. They knew it was wrong. We're not even there yet, right? We're not even in Adam and Eve yet, but yeah, they knew it was wrong, but they still partake, right? So, and the consequences of um, partaking is, it's very but um, they took the ultimate sacrifice. We don't have control at the end of the day. We're just here to spectate and partake, right?